What's up and welcome to episode 265 of First Geek for 11. This week we got games, and more games as we recap, and a pupper, as we recap Summer Game Fest, the Xbox Game Showcase, and technically there was an Ubisoft Forward as well. With me, as always, being attacked over on the West Coast, Best Coast, is Emma. Emma, how are you doing today?
Hi. Not actually being attacked by a dog, I would like to clarify. Kyra's just full of ants.
Being attacked by friendship.
He is a year and a half old and has not been outside in, like, 5 days. So, I'm doing good.
Did Emma try to put the dog out of her room? Yes. And the dog returned.
Yes. Did it fail? Yes.
So we're gonna do our best.
Kyra was
today.
having none of the banishment.
None of it. Before we get into the big news and catch up on what we've been up to, you can find us across social media as OneGeek411. Join us over in our Discord server to chat during the week. Send us an email at 1stgeek411@gmail.com. Watch live Monday nights on Twitch around 6:30 Mountain Time. And find the videos over on our YouTube where you can like, comment, and subscribe. And then you can also check out that Redbubble store. With that, Emma, let's jump into what we have been up to. I just lost my water, and it's right where I always put it, but for some reason I was like, wait, where is it at? So here we are. But Emma, what have you been up to this past week? Besides watching the...
Not the water. Besides, this poor dog, I mentioned before we started, has been sick the past couple of days. So has gotten... Cairo. Hold on.
Okay. While Emma's up, I will go ahead and jump
really
in
bad.
with what I have been up to.
There we go. Fully bad dog.
Oh.
Dog going after ball of yarn is unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Yeah, dog has been sick, so has gotten 0 exercise, and dog is 1.5 years old. So 0 exercise in even more than 2 days is rough. But let's see. This last week, I got to play D&D twice. 2 different 4-hour sessions, which was really great, in campaigns that are both consistent and ongoing. Just fabulous. Yes, dog has terrible separation anxiety.
Poor pupper.
And this is the fun room where all the fun stuff is. I know. And it was the second session for this other campaign that we just started with. And I'm playing Zed, my tiefling rogue, who is very, like, punk emo-y.
Yes.
And will hopefully eventually become that kind of character who takes governments down from the inside.
Are they a jet?
And it's going to be great. And she likes to insert herself into conversations.
That's awesome.
Maybe. And I love her so much. She is a tiefling, and she's very purple and black coated, but I modeled her horns on the Leviathans from Subnautica, so I'm very excited on that.
Nice.
I have been working on the Platinum for Horizon Forbidden West. Very exciting, very good time. That is slow going because I'm at that point where all of the trophies I have to finish, thanks dog, are like the more complicated, bigger, time-consuming things, like arenas and things. Yeah. And then I've been reading the Bridgerton books, and that's been fun. I am on the second one, and it is a good time.
Nice. I was not aware that they were books, I don't think. No, maybe I was. That does sound kind of familiar.
They are.
That's awesome. I'm so happy for you in another
the show
D&D game.
is based on the books, so it's a good time.
Oh, Pupper's back. So for me, in the world of playing games, I have been...
The pupper broke in again.
Yeah, welcome back, Pupper.
Hey, Ro.
I have been continuing my playthrough of Marvel Midnight Suns and really enjoying being back in that game. And I'm trying to decide if I want to go for the platinum for it, mostly because you have to like max out light and dark, and I don't know how actually like quick that is. I don't really want to do a second playthrough, and so that might be the deciding factor. But we'll see. And then we are recruiting new characters. We're having fun with that, enjoying building all that relationships and those connections with the cool Marvel characters.
I'm here. I'm just going to go crate the dog.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I'll stall for time. In other stuff, I also, this kind of ties in with one of our major topics for this week. I guested over on Checkpoint Church, where we chatted during and did live reactions to Summer Game Fest. So that was really cool. As of recording, it's not on their YouTube. I don't know if it will be at a later point, but that was a lot of fun. It was cool hanging out with Nate and cool watching Summer Game Fest. And then I also completed my 25th book of the year, which is a Venom Dark and Sweet by Judy I. Lin. And so I'm pretty excited. Rocking through these audiobooks and getting through things. And so that's been pretty fun. And so it's a good book. I think I talked about this. It might have been off air. I don't remember. But A Venom Dark and Sweet is the second part in a duology that I 100% picked up because the cover was cool. And so I saw it when Shanine and Travis were visiting, and I was like, oh, that looks like a cool book. And so I got the audiobook through my library and started listening to the series. And so have been really enjoying them. A great like Eastern like cultural book, fun magic system, fun it's like tea magic. And so like I'm curious, it is like presented as a duology. I'm curious if we'll get any more from this author with this like world building, because it's very like very different style. And so it was a fun read. And so and then the last major thing is I this past weekend went to Dallas Fan Expo, and so got to go to some cool panels. I bought some new art. We're gonna have a little bit of show and tell. Yeah. I got this cool Aloy bow and the Astral Prism, right? From Baldur's
My
Gate.
favorite piece.
Yeah, those are both from the Lurky Quirk. And then I meant to pull this up. This happened to me on stream the other day as well, where I forgot to pull things up ahead of time because one person did not include their card in their frame. And so let me go. I messaged Senpai. And so I got
As you're looking for things, I'm going to say, ooh, what is that?
So this is from
That looks
Nick
like Night Vale
Lanza.
art.
And so they're all like, for lack of a better term, like traveling posters. So they're all like welcome to place. And so that one's welcome to Twilight Town, which is from Kingdom Hearts. But they had a bunch of other ones. Like they had, I saw from his social media,
That's
he's
fun.
working on a Baldur's Gate one. And, but he had like Welcome to Lavender Town from Pokemon. And so there's a bunch of cool stuff like that. And then the final piece that I got is this really cool Captain Marvel, where like the gold accents on her suit are shiny. And so like they reflect light. This is from Samantha Doodles.
That's sick.
Yeah. And so I'm really excited about that one as well. And to kind of grow the collage wall. I have a bunch of art like behind me on the floor that's going to go on the
nerd conventions.
Yeah. And so
Love.
more art, the better. I've said
I love
before.
nerd conventions for the art.
Yeah.
They're the best part.
I 100% agree. The more conventions I've gone to, the more I find myself caring about Artist Alley. And the less I find myself caring about like the other retail stuff.
Yes.
Kind of with the exception of like, if the point is the retail stuff. So like PAX as an example, like the point of PAX is to play games. And so that's a little different. But like when it comes to most conventions, it's like the artist alley stuff like that. That's always super cool.
Yep.
While there, I also went to a Doctor Who panel with Alex, Jody, and Mandeep. And so...
Oh, man, I'm jealous you got to go to that in person.
It was super fun.
I've been getting all of the clips for it on the internet, and it looks fabulous, and I would have died a little bit on the inside out of sheer joy.
Yeah.
So...
It was a little bit of a weird... Like, it was weird having Alex with them, just since Alex... like isn't really involved in that part of the story, but like I'm not gonna complain. I've said many times River Song is my favorite Doctor Who character, and so not gonna complain about that. And I also went to a panel with Ming-Na Wen and Tamora Morrison.
Nice.
They were talking specifically about the Book of Boba Fett, but kind of just themselves in general. And I gotta say, I could listen to them read the phone book. Like, they are so, like, insanely, like, silly and charismatic. And what was really funny was that the person who was hosting the panel, I think, literally asked one question the whole time.
And they just talked the rest of it?
And they just talked. And at one point, she interjected with a question. Then they just talked for a while. And then we did audience questions. Which, like, I could have... Nice. I'm not a huge fan of audience questions at cons. Like, I feel like there's, like, 1 in 10, they're good. And then, like, 5 out of 10, they're okay. And then, like, the other 40% is just horrible questions. Or it's someone that's like, here's my 3-minute anecdote, and then I'm going to ask, what's your favorite color? Like, and I just, like, I would... gladly have all panels never have audience questions, or make the audience submit questions ahead of time.
Yeah, I was gonna say pre-submitted. Like,
and so I and there was some of that too with the Doctor Who panel. But I felt like it was worse in the Bounty Hunter panel, just in terms of like, again, like none of the questions were like awful, but there was a handful that was like, I don't think you needed to take everyone's time to ask this.
Yeah, exactly.
But so both of those were really cool. I was sad. I only went on one day. Neil from Baldur's Gate 3 had a panel on Friday, so I didn't get to go to that. And then there was like a general like voice actor, like video game voice actor panel on Sunday that I also didn't get to. So I want to try to find that one online. And then I don't remember if it was just David Tennant or if it was David Tennant and Catherine Tate had a panel on Sunday as well.
Man, there were a lot of people there.
Yeah, it was, I think there were 6 Doctor Who people there. And so there's also like some Stranger Thing people. So my friends that I was there with, or one of the groups of friends that I was there with, they were excited for like Twister, like the female lead from Twister was there. And
interesting.
And then there were some people from Charmed. Since I'm in Dallas, there's a whole lot of the Funimation people here, and so pretty much the whole cast of My Hero is at every single Dallas convention. And there's a handful of the Stranger Things people there. So the person that plays Dustin and the person who plays Luke were both there. Who else was there? So there was some. I want to say her name's Sabrina. She plays Sabine Wren. I think her name is Natasha. And so plays Sabine in Mandalorian or in Ahsoka. And so she was there. There was a bunch of people from Hell of a Boss that were there as well. And then I did not partake. But there was a handful of the live action Avatar people there as well. As well as Gray, who was the voice of animated Azula. And so that one was tempting. I did not go in cosplay, and I got to tell you, Emma, I regretted it. Like, I just like hadn't felt like doing it, and like I should have. Like, it's been so long since I've done cosplay at a con that like, man, I miss doing it. And like the past couple that I've done have been like the closet cosplay of like Peter B. Parker or something like that. And it's just not like it's been a while since I've done Aang. And so I think it's time to bring Aang back for the next con that I do. But yeah, that's what I have been up to. Let's jump into the news. And as I said at the top, we're going to be talking about the video game showcases that were this weekend. We talked about the PlayStation State of Play last week. I also want to acknowledge that today there was an Ubisoft Forward. They technically showed games. And so they showed more Star Wars Outlaws, which was really cool. They showed more Assassin's Creed Shadows, and all that you need to know is if you're interested in those games, go check that stuff out because it was cool. You don't really need to watch the whole thing. IMO. And so we're not going to really dwell on that one more than that. But let's go chronological and start off with Summer Game Fest, Jeff Keighley's kind of kickoff. And so as we've done whenever we do these recaps, I'm going to go run through every single game, and then we're going to circle back and chat through stuff. And because there's so many, we might actually like take them in chunks. I don't exactly know how we're going to do that. I do also have some of my notes from when I watched the showcases. They are very incomplete, but here we are. So the first thing that we got at Summer Game Fest that I know Emma is super sad about is Lego Horizon Adventures. We also got No More Room in Hell 2, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, Cuff Bust.
I'm so sad about this one. Why are we getting this one, you guys? This is the worst. The absolute worst.
The worst. Star Wars Outlaws, Neva.
For anyone who doesn't understand, that was sarcasm. I'm very excited about this.
We had Civ 7, Black Myth Wukong, Once Human, Metaphor ReFantazio, Batman Arkham Shadows, Street Fighter 6, Tears of Metal, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Delta Force Hawk Ops, Fatal Fury, Battle Crush, Valorant, Skate, New World, Aterium? I don't know. Some expansion for New World that I didn't know was still around. Project Doza, Kujitsugami, Dark and Darker, Rogue Eclipse, Night Springs expansion for Alan Wake 2, The Mossfield Archives, Battle Aces, Battlesuit Aces, Sonic Cross Shadow Generations, Mars First Logistics, Wanderstop, The First Descendant, Cairn, Innotria, Canyons, Unknown 9 Awakening, Fear the Spotlight, Stormforge, Killer Bean, The Simulation, Slitherhead, Sleep Awake, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Rita's Rewind, Grave Seasons, Crystal Theater of Idols, Project C, Mecha Break, and Shoot on Sight. And then that is where IGN's thing ends, but I feel like there's no way that's everything. Yeah, there's stuff that's out of order. We also saw an update for Pal World, Hyperlight Breaker, Squad Busters, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Phantom Blade. There might be some stuff I did not realize that the IGN article was out of order. So there might be some stuff that was missed there. Like, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Deer and Boy. Trying to like skim my notes. Warhammer Space Marine 2, Asgard's Wrath. Okay. That's all. I think that's everything. So Emma, I assume there's going to be a very specific answer for this, but where would you like to start? and I am not hearing you.
Okay, I had muted myself
Okay.
because the dog is barking. Um, Given that I literally put it in the show notes, Lego Horizon. Not excited for that at all. I am very excited for that. Um, because it's Horizon and it's Lego and it's just gonna be a chill time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Doing Lego in Horizon and Lego format. Well, it's not actually. It's not like Lego Star Wars where you play through all the episodes or whatever. It's just like kind of like a co-op Horizon
Mm-hmm.
game. And it's gonna be a good time, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And it's just all the good things.
I'm really excited that it seems like they're just doing a new story. I know that was one of the
Yep.
things that I was worried, and maybe we're wrong. This is all just based on what they've shown. Um, I was really worried when I had heard that this was potentially a thing. That's like I don't really want to play through the Horizon games in Lego form. And so I'm really excited that this seems to be its own thing. I'm excited that it's going to be co op, and so you'll be able to
Yeah.
play with friends. So I'm excited for that. And then, as Emma and I were discussing in our Instagram chat with Shanine, I'm also really hopeful that we're going to see more Lego Horizon Legos coming from this. And so,
Yes.
um,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I started researching the looking places to get a tall neck Lego tall
mhm.
neck set because I would love to get that. If I built it, I would have nowhere to put it, so I would build it, admire it for a couple of days, and then maybe break it back down to then build later when I can display it forever and ever.
Yeah, that's kind of my issue with Lego as a whole. But like, I've wanted to get the tall neck as well, and it's just like, yep, that is big. That would have to go somewhere, and so finding the space to display stuff like that is always the challenge. As much as I would love the Lego tall neck because it is sweet, um,
Yep.
but yeah, I'm excited because I know for like the Star Wars ones, they had the rule that like everything had to actually work as a Lego set. So like even stuff that like there isn't an official Lego set for, you could like use the pieces that they show in the game and actually build it. And so
Oh,
hopefully
that's
as we
cool.
see the Thunderjaw in this, like that means that hey, even if you don't get an actual Thunderjaw set, you could like reverse engineer the actual thing and it would work as a Lego, which is really fun. And I'm sure there are Lego people out there that have already built
Yep.
one if
Yep.
they have if after
Yep.
the trailer if they hadn't before. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure there's people on it now who are like working furiously to make one.
yeah. Um, then we also I also want to talk about Lego or not Lego Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. So we've had this like long rumored Quidditch game that they kind of had started talking about once it was revealed that Hogwarts Legacy would not have Quidditch. And so I'm interested in this game, mainly because it looks like they're going to follow the story of Ginny Weasley. And so they're like placing this in the actual like main books, and then it's going to be like a game where you play through some sort of story. Um, and that I'm always up for more story in games rather than less. And so this potentially having just been a sports game made me way less interested. But knowing that there's actually going to be characters that are in it makes me a lot happier. Um, are you interested in
Yeah.
Quidditch?
Yeah.
Um,
I think so. My biggest reservation is how terrible the controls were for it in Hogwarts in the Hogwarts game
mm-hmm.
that like the concept of going into a game that's solely Quidditch is like I'm very hesitant because the controls were so terrible the last time we did this,
Yeah.
and we weren't allowed to change them. Like, if it's gonna be another scenario if we can't change the controls and the controls are terrible, then I'm just not gonna play it because
Yeah.
I don't want to be miserable the entire time. Um, but if they are good, that's the big hurdle for me. It's one of those games that I'm definitely interested in, but isn't one that I would jump to get right away when it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll get it eventually.
Yeah. My hope would
Just
be that
not
it
right
comes
away.
to PlayStation Plus or something like that. And like that's a good way of getting it versus. Oh, and I did want to say, I forgot to mention this when we were talking about Lego Horizon. It's coming out on Nintendo Switch as well as PlayStation. So like that's really fun. Like we're seeing PlayStation 5 games be like PlayStation games like start to come to other platforms, and so this seems like a great game to put on the Switch, and so I'm excited for that. For some other games, or some other things I wanted to call out, we did get the I want to say re-announcement, but the announcement of Bloomhouse Games, where we got a handful of scary games that, Emma, you can be excited for. I'm happy for you. But the main reason I wanted to talk about this is... Yeah, spooks.
Spooks! Even if I don't like them or play them, I like the spooky games. I'm a sucker for spooks.
Yeah. I like that this exists again. Like just because I don't like spooks. I know other people really like them. There was one of these, I want to say Grave Seasons, that I thought was really interesting, that I might actually try to play. And so I could be wrong, and that could be a hard no. But it definitely seems interesting. I'm also kind of interested in what this could mean just in terms of movie studios getting into game publishing as well. Because it seems kind of like they're like publishing indie games, basically. It's kind of the vibe.
Yeah.
And so like it seems really cool, as there's been a lot in recent years about like projects struggling to get funding, and like, hey, if movies can like movie studios can see these of, hey, like, of course video games are expensive, but like if it's less risk than a whole film, maybe that's something that they'll be willing to put some money in. And so I do think that that's really cool. And then I also wanted, during the Checkpoint stream, we started what became as the I'm in scale, which is me saying I'm in on all the games that I thought looked cool. There's a lot of them, and so they were kind of making fun of me, but I have come to own it myself. And so there's a lot of stuff that I thought was very cool. We also got the announcement of the Among Us developers. Inner Sloth have started something called Outer Sloth, which is a new initiative that is aimed to help indie developers with funding. And so kind of coming off the same thing as Bloomhouse, I think it's very cool that we have an indie dev that like kind of out of nowhere made a ton of money on their game. And now they're taking some of that money and putting it into other indie devs. And so I think that is super cool of them. I do believe we also saw, a handful of games that they have already started working with. And so hopefully those games won't be too far away. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. Try not to talk about like every single game that was announced, but
yeah, that's super cool.
We did get a game that I think you would be interested, Emma, called Wander Stop. Every single one. And so Wander Stop is from Annapurna, and it's from the creator of the Stanley Parable. And so it's a new game that is going to be a cozy farming sim with a few secrets to hide.
Oh, this is the tea.
Yes. And so
The tea lady who's really a fighter.
yes. And so it kind of has the vibe of like D&D character. D&D character who like has retired but has PTSD from all the things that she's gone through. And so she starts this tea shop. And that seems really like a really cool idea for a story. Shout out to the book Legends and Lattes, which is kind of like similar to this. Although this game looks like it's going to deal with the more dark side of that, whereas Legends and Lattes is very positive. But I think that this is really cool. It's a cool idea. I love it when we get to see cozy games like come through and do some like very fun twists on things. And yeah, I think that's always great for us to get to see versus it just being like, yep, this is another farming game. It's always cool when we have ones that have something very fun.
Yep.
My note for Wanderstop is yes, please. And so, were there any other specific games from the state of play that you, or yeah, Summer Game Fest, there we go, that you specifically wanted to talk about?
I mean, those two are the ones. I mean, I had forgotten that I saw a thing for Wanderstop, but it looks great. And it's definitely one that I am feeling. Lego Horizon is the big one for me personally, for obvious reasons. And then Star Wars Outlaws is the other exciting one. But I think those are the big ones that I'm personally hyped for. So.
And sorry, everyone, I'm dealing with like, my computer has not had lagging issues, but it is happening now. And so we're doing our best here.
And then we got Xbox, right?
Yes. Real quick, as some, like two final things I want to call out.
All of the laggy issues.
Yeah, exactly. I want to call out Neva, which looks beautiful, as well as Deer and Boy. Both of those looked very cool, kind of artsy indie games. And so I want to talk about both of those because they both looked really cool. And so Lock in Chat says Lego Horizon looks so fun. Hard yes. And I do want to say, if you're watching, let us know what games you were excited about. What announcements were you in for? And yeah, there's a lot of cool games, and I think I counted like 50 something announcements. And yeah, like 53 announcements. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. Let us know what you're excited for. But with that, let's jump over to, Emma says I could be a stop motion film. Hopefully things are okay on stream. We'll see how things are. I don't really know.
I've been checking off and on, and you're fine on stream.
Okay.
It's literally just like for me, you're like, I'm getting like 3 frames a second.
Oh man, I did not realize I was a Pokemon game on the Nintendo Switch. Ayo. But yeah, like your resolution has dropped in and out throughout stream, and it's all on my end. I had trouble on stream on Sunday to the point that like I almost stopped, and I really like we have not had like this frame dropping issue in like 3 months, and so I really don't know why it has started now, but here we are, and so. But yeah, with that, let's jump over to the Xbox Games Showcase. Here again, we got a handful of other announcements. Now that I know IGN is out of order, I'm going to go with my notes. And so so I can make sure that we get everything. We had Doom: The Dark Ages, State of Decay 3, Dragon Age: The Veil Guard, Starfield: Shattered Space, Fallout 76, Expedition 33, South of Midnight, World of Warcraft: The War Within, Snake Eater Delta, or Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. Sea of Thieves is getting an update. We had Flintlock: The Siege of Dawn, Age of Mythology Retold, Perfect Dark, Diablo 4, Vessel of Hatred, Fable, Fragpunk, Winter Burrow, Mixtape, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Elder Scrolls Online Gold Road, Life is Strange, Double Exposure, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Mecha Break, Ru Chang, Fallen Empire, Avowed, Atomfall, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Stalker 2, and then Gears of War E-Day, which is like a prequel to the first Gears of War series. So that is what we got at summer or at Xbox Games Showcase. Emma, of those, did anything jump out to you as super exciting?
The one that, if I had the money, it would get me to buy an Xbox is South of Midnight. Because that game looks so amazing. And, like, it could be so much fun. That I mentioned it in the Discord a little bit. But if I could afford an Xbox, I would get it just to play South of Midnight. Because it's, like, it's set in the South, in the American South, and it's, like, it takes all of the mythos of that area and like turns it into a fantasy game, and it seems so amazing and so cool and like a fun game and a world to explore that I'm just like, yeah, I would get an Xbox for that if I had the money to spend on an Xbox.
Yeah,
so that's the one that I like would play right when it came out because it seems amazing, but also like there is a chance for it to like look amazing in trailer and then just be terrible.
Yeah.
So there's a small part of me that is thinking that, but I'm hoping it's the looks amazing in trailer and is actually amazing.
Yeah. I'm really hopeful for that game as well. And it's definitely, I'm hoping to play it when it comes on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Did we get a date for that one? There was one of the themes of these showcases was putting dates on games, even though it seems like, not putting dates on games that were coming out relatively soon. No, that one is just a 2025. And so we do have some time on that. But yeah, I'm probably not going to have Game Pass anymore at that point. And so I will be getting Game Pass for a month so that I can play South of Midnight. So for me, the biggest announcement 100%. Of this was Dragon Age: The Veilguard. The announcement of the return of Dragon Age. We had gotten the announcement of the renaming of this game, but then also the fact that this game is coming out like later this year is really exciting. I believe we'll have some gameplay later this week at an event, I believe is what they said. But I love Dragon Age, and I'm excited to kind of be back in that world and get to have another deep RPG. I am hoping, A, that this game is good, but B, that a lot of people that really liked Baldur's Gate can get into Dragon Age. Because it does have some similar things. It's a bit more action-y of a game, or at least the previous ones have been. But I'm very hopeful that this could kind of scratch that same itch for people that like really liked the party and meeting your team and all the backstory for all the characters and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping that we can see that fun come to this. And again, super hyped that this is actually coming out this year. I also wanted to shout out Expedition 33, which is a 2D, or not 2D, a turn-based RPG akin to like Persona, where you are this expedition team and your goal is to kind of push farther than the other expedition teams have done before. I heard a good joke about this, which is like, I'm really excited for there to be a stylish JRPG that doesn't make me have to be in high school again. And so, as much as I love Persona,
Yes.
yeah, happy that we like don't have to be in high school and we can actually like have a team of adults. And so, yeah, I'm excited for that one.
We love having a team of adults who
Yes.
aren't currently going through puberty.
Right. And then I also wanted to call out the return of Life is Strange with Life is Strange Double Exposure. Emma, have you played the Life is Strange games?
I played the first one actually on my old Mac, which is apparently buried under bills and things. But I played the first one and really enjoyed it. And then I heard meh reviews about the second one, so I didn't really get into it. But the first one is one of the first games that I ever played when I really got into just gaming as a hobby and really enjoyed it. It was one of my first tastes of like the games where your choices really do impact the end result, and it was so amazing to me, and I thought it was so cool. So, and the art style of those games is just stunning. So it was a good time.
Yeah, I've played the first episode of the first game. And so I definitely need to go back and play more of them. This looks really cool. I've always thought the Life is Strange games looked really fun, and I just like have never really gotten into them. But I'm definitely excited that there's more and that the franchise is like sticking around and doing more. And then I think there was one other game I specifically wanted. This is a game that like I don't have a touch point for, and I'm gonna guess, or well, I don't really. I have a very small touch point, but I'm gonna assume you don't, and that is Gears of War. And so this is something that a lot of people have been very excited about. And I think I played through the first Gears of War game.
No touch
co-op.
point for Gears of War.
No touch point. Played through the first one co-op in college, and I have touched none of the other games since then. But yeah, I know a lot of people are really excited for this, and I'm very excited for them. This is kind of one of the bigger like Microsoft first-party games, or like classic first-party games. It's kind of weird to say that now that they own Bethesda and Activision, but like this is kind of one of the big like Xbox 360 era exclusives, and so I'm excited for this. I'm excited for people getting their prequel, and it seems like a lot of fun. Let's see. Oh, another game, Emma, that you may be interested in is Winterboro, which is like a survival game where you're a mouse.
I was just gonna mention
Okay.
that one.
Go ahead, take off on Winterboro.
He's so cute. So I want to bring up a fun fact for the audience that is very much related to this about myself. Myself as a child had an imaginary friend, and myself as a child with her imaginary friend happened to be a mouse who went by the name of Mouse. And Mouse flew everywhere. Sometimes Mouse had wings, sometimes Mouse did not have wings. And Mouse, in child me's head, looked a lot like the mice from the art for this game.
Oh, nice.
So I saw the art for this game, and I was like, hey, it's Mouse!
They're back.
My childhood imaginary friend who flew around everywhere and who got blamed for all of my mischievous wrongdoings. So it just looks adorable, and it's a cute little survival game. about mice whose home is destroyed and you got to survive.
Hmm.
And it looks like a fun time and is another game I would absolutely play if I had an Xbox or other platform that allowed me to play it.
Yeah, it looks cool. I was hopeful that it'd be more of a cozy game, whereas it seems like they're going to go the survival route. I struggle a lot with survival games because it's the like feel like you have to do things at specific times, and I don't know. I feel like I'm always just like paranoid that I'll get stuff out of order and that I'll get stuck, which like most of them are designed that you can't do that, but like I'm just always worried that I'm going to like miss the best parts because I didn't gather enough wood on this one day or whatever. Um, but I'm interested in it. It looks so cute, as you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like great art style. It kind of reminded me of Chicory, and so just in terms of like the top down like view of it, kind of reminded me of that game.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, um, that there's again a whole lot more from Summer Game Fest as well as the Xbox Game Showcase. Let us know what you're excited for. I would love to like put up trailers for all of those things, but considering my computer is struggling with just this, we're gonna not do any of that. And so,